some new challenges ahead of us. Of course, putting together a budget starts with enrollment. Each year we must re-project our upcoming fall enrollment, and the outcome of that projection is the core of the budget development process. It drives the state funding that we will receive. It drives how much we can collect of the voter-approved enrichment levy, because that is a per-student funding model. And then, of course, it drives the staffing that we must plan for. So on slide 4, it goes into some detail on how we project enrollment. And of course, we use what's called a progression method. Most school districts in our area use the exact same method. It was developed by the Educational Service District and has been in effect for many, many years. And we start that progression method by identifying the number of kindergarten students who will likely enroll in the upcoming year. And we base this on the prior 3-year average of kindergarten enrollment. Birth rates are fairly stable, and so we use a 3-year average to ensure that we stay tightly to the latest birth rate. And so when it comes to birth rate and kindergarten levels, we don't use the 5-year look back, we just go 3 years. And then for each grade in school, 1st grade through 12th grade, we identify the number of students that will progress to the next grade. And so for this step, we do use 5 years of data. And so, for example, the 6th grade class at Jefferson Middle School is about 150 students. And based on a historical 1-year progression rate, we look at how many of the 150 students will enroll next year as 7th graders. And we also look at 2 years of progression data. And what does that tell us about how many of that 150 students will enroll as 7th graders? And we look at 3 years of progression data, 4 years of progression data, and 5 years of progression data. That means that we prepare 5 projections for every grade at every school. And then we array those 5 projections to identify the most conservative to the most optimistic in terms of enrollment. And then as a district, we typically base our projection on the 2nd most conservative enrollment projection. That way, when we look forward, we are not over-committing the district and hiring too many staff if our enrollment does come in conservatively. And this method has served us well. Unless a pandemic throws our society off, we're typically pretty close. This year, our enrollment is higher than we projected by a little bit, but we're typically very, very close. So on the next slide, we do have a couple